while I have my book with critique partners and I'm going through critique partner stuff, I am working on outlining my new book. So I've decided to start working through making a new to-do list for everything I want to do for my new project and starting to work on that. So I've started by going through this baby. So I thought I'd start by going through some of these books just to get some more ideas for getting started. So right now, I think I'm actually learning a lot more about, or thinking a lot more about my blood magic project that I am, the one I'm about to be outlining. But I'm at the point where they're talking about misbelief, right? So you have a deep-seated desire in the main character of something that they want and why they want that, like why the way their life was led them to want this thing. And then, you know, the other thing that's competing with that is their lie or misbelief. And there's this one line about it that just makes so much sense. And what it says here is, the misbelief feels right because at a crucial moment in your protagonist's life, it was right. Which is such a cool way to think about it. Like, sure, you know, they have to have a misbelief, believe a lie. They have to have a reason to believe that lie. But that's, I don't know, this is like taking it a step further. Like, it clicked in my brain. Like, whatever the main character doesn't, like, whatever their misbelief is, that to them is a true belief, there was a point in their life, or multiple points in their life, that cemented it, where that misbelief was reality. It was true. So I'm going to do a lot of thinking on that. I wanted to go through and be a little bit more detailed about this. I think I shared this in one of my past vlogs, but when I had first started thinking about the plot that I wanted to do for my new project, I had gone through and done a ton of research on different story structures. So I'll try to show this, but I had some details from Save the Cat. I didn't read Save the Cat, I just like watched summaries. I have the 4-act structure, Dan Harmon's story circle, the 5-act structure, notes from Alexa Dunn's videos, Katie Tastic's 27-part outline, Abby Emmons' powerful character arc, just general notes, and I had gone through and written down romance beats, and then I had gone through and figured out what beats I wanted to have, and this isn't like spoilers or anything, it's just what I want to happen, in terms of like moving the plot forward. When I was realizing kind of what my weaknesses in my blood magic project were, I was like, you know, I really need to go deeper than this. So I started reading Story Genius, and I actually got and read Save the Cat. These are fantastic. I really, really, really enjoyed them. Story Genius is just so good at looking at the difference between your story and your plot. Your story being this internal struggle of what is really important to that character, what they're learning, this struggle, like making that, you know, character's journey and what they're learning matter, and connecting everything that happens in the story back to that internal struggle, back to like why everything in the world matters to that character. Going through and reading this really, really helped, but then I still wanted structure, I still wanted beats, I still wanted to have these moments, because as I was reading about them in like Save the Cat and other places that I was reading about beats, like they're both to some extent like expected things to happen, but also like there's a reason why these things work, you know, like you don't have to do them exactly, you don't have to do the percentages exactly, but knowing why this beat happens and roughly where it happens and why it happens, where it happens, really helps to, I think, kind of guide where you're going with the story and the plot. So I wanted to kind of outline using the Story Genius method, but keeping the beats from Save the Cat and trying to hit those if I thought that they would benefit the story and the plot. So that's kind of the approach I've been taking with that. So I went through with the first few things in Story Genius was basically like writing out scenes, which, as you can see, I did a lot of. So I mostly just did sticky notes, and I have like the whole origin scene here. I really dug deeper. I had figured out my character beforehand, like when I was looking at this back in, I think it was September, when I was waiting to start revisions on my blood magic project. But I hadn't gone this deep, and I will say it was really helpful. So I went through this. I have my crossroad moments. I have these escalating ticks to action, which really like just really helped me figure out what was going on to make it feel like you're jumping into a story that didn't just start then. Because that's something that really bothers me. Like, there should be history, there should be movement. It shouldn't feel like nothing started until you started reading it, basically. And then, what I did from there is I created folders, like actual folders, not computer folders. I didn't use a notebook. I didn't use full pieces of paper because that was just... I need to be able to see everything. I'm very, very visual, especially at these early stages. And I can't commit to actually writing things down, so I like to use mostly sticky notes at this point so I can move them, I can replace them very easily. I created a folder for each quarter of the book. So I had Act 1, the first half of Act 2, the second half of Act 2, and Act 3. And what I basically did was I went through Save the Cat to figure out what I really wanted beat-wise, went through those beats I had kind of figured out before that I thought I wanted to include, and I just kind of went through and divided the folders in half, and I wrote at the top, like, what needed to happen. So I'm going to try to show this to you without, like, spoiling everything. But so I had, like, the opening image, 1 scene, theme stated, 1 scene, setup, roughly 3 scenes. Down here, catalyst, debate, break into 2. And then I went through and I just started going through Story Geniuses, basically figuring out the opening image up to the catalyst and the aha moment are kind of the big ones it has you do first. And then I went through the brainstorming stuff to figure out other ideas. I added all the ideas from when I had kind of roughly outlined this before. And then I went through and I just started putting things on sticky notes. And then I started putting the sticky notes where I thought they would go in the story. And then I could move them around. I could group sticky notes. Like, I think both of these things could happen in the same scene. So I just went through and did that for everything. And then once I had everything in here and thought I had enough information, enough stuff happening, everything was kind of connected, I went through and created a rough, like, sticky note template. It's basically the exact scene card from Story Genius. So I went through and I did this, and then I started going through and just replacing all those little sticky notes with full-fledged scene cards. And I just kind of went from the beginning to the end. It helped me to do it linearly after the point that I'd brainstormed everything. So I went through, I got everything figured out. So I have Act 1, Act 2A, Act 2B, and then Act 3. This worked very well for me. I really like it. I like having them in these little grouped folders. I really liked going through the Story Genius method of storyboarding this out. I think at this point I've basically done the whole Story Genius method. I've gone through and I did kind of plot out the subplots that I have, like it shows in there. I did go through some of my side characters. So yeah, I have a storyboarded story, and my next step is I've been going through in my notebook and fleshing out the things that need to be fleshed out before I can do a full outline. So I literally made a to-do list in my notebook where I have characters that I need to flesh out, different settings I need to make maps, descriptions, figure out what they look like, why they look like that. Civilizations and societies I need to flesh out, different like fantasy elements, like I have a magical creature that I need to really figure out. So basically I want to figure all that out before I go through and move all of my outlining to something where I can have a lot more information. I don't know if I'm going to I might use Milanote for this. I might use World Anvil. I don't think I need everything in World Anvil, so I'm considering other options. I could use Scrivener, but I don't like the idea of not being able to access that anywhere. I use Windows, so it's not as easy. Like, I think Mac, you can get an app and access it on your phone. But I can't do that. So I've just been kind of going through and, doing the research I need to do. I'm really liking it so far. Like, I've done some really cool geology research in order to get some of the, I really needed a very specific, setting set up for where the main character is going to live with her family. So I had to do some really cool stuff with that. I have some cool drawings. You know me, I love geology. Just I've done so much research the last few days and it really feels less productive, but going back through my notebook right now, I have so many good notes in here that's really gonna make this world feel alive and like it's moving, because that's the complicated thing about it, is that it's sort of post-apocalyptic. I don't know if I've talked much about what my actual concept is, but basically you had a world that was magical and roughly maybe Georgian era, maybe Renaissance era kind of timeline, where the society was. Like, they were in a sort of Renaissance period, but more obviously focused on magic than certain technologies. And then there was something that happened 15 years ago that sort of killed off a large number of the population, isolated them significantly, and so they've had to rebuild society. So I need to know exactly what society was before to know how it would be now. And, like, there's going to be so many remnants of that everywhere. Like, even their homes, like, if you imagine these people are sort of on the run, have had to move away from where their population centers used to be, like, they need to develop homes based off what was there before, based off the environment, based off this threat that they're facing. Like, and I had this figured out a little bit, but it involves so much research and so much thought to just really figure out how all those parts are going to be connected and play together. And, like, what things are going to be called. Like, because other than, like, young people, like, really young people, everyone remembers the old world to an extent. So, like, there's a lot of influences there. So, like, this history, these old societies, where everything was. Like, I have different versions of this world map from basically, like, whatever happened, right? And then I have current maps based off that. Like, I need to know where all the old city ruins are. I need to know where the population centers were. I need to know what would make sense for, like, where they would have gone. So there's been a lot of that right now. So I'm going to keep doing research. I'm going to keep building up my details, flesh out more of my characters, add character descriptions. I'm trying to come up with some, like mood board inspiration things for the settings, for the areas, for the people, just to kind of have more of an idea. I need to face cast people, figure out what I'm going to do, but I'm really, really liking this project. I'm kind of not really excited about having to go back to my other one and fix everything. Yeah, I don't know. We'll do it, but I'm having fun for now. So that's my update. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you. So I recently signed up for a Lumicrate, I think is what it's called. Mostly just because I've always wanted to do it and an opening finally opened up. These are two of the recent books I've gotten. So this is The Ivory Key by Akshaya Raman. My pronunciation of basically everything sucks. But, oh, this is so cool. So it actually has hotkey books at the bottom, and it says what kind of tropes in it. So magic, secrets, ciphers, and sibling rivalry, which is cool. I'm very excited about it, and, like, look at these sprayed edges, right? It's a gorgeous cover. I love the map. Right now, I'm just loving basically anything that isn't overly, medieval European inspired, basically. Like, I still enjoy those, but it's just so cool to see other things brought in. So I'm very excited about this. The other one I got is This Woven Kingdom, which, look at this. And this is not, like, a dust cover. This is just the book. Like, this beautiful detailing, like, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. It's gorgeous. This Woven Kingdom by Tahera Mafi. And I got some, like, really cool, like, poster things with it. This sounds good. I'm really excited about it. I think these are both going to be really good. I'm really excited to read them. I have so many things to read right now. I don't know when I'll get to them, but I'm excited. I realized I never filmed an outro for this video, but I think I'm probably going to try and finish this research, maybe finish the outline, or maybe wait until my next break to incorporate everything into a more fleshed out outline. And then I'm going to be figuring out how to revise my main blood magic project, which is going to be a task, but it's going to involve incorporating a lot of this information. It's going to involve mapping out the plot. If you saw my video where I kind of mapped out the plot structure and everything for the wolf, I'm probably going to do something similar for my book, which will be fun. But I really enjoyed this process. If you have any, like, tips or tricks or anything you want to share, I'd love to hear them. But otherwise, I'll see you next time.